So welcome everybody, lovely that you're here, another lovely spring day outside. So I'd said that we'd do a bit of restorative today. So it means really gentle, lots of focus on letting go into the posture, and restorative is deep relaxation from where energy comes. So we'll be working with the very deep core muscles, the psoas and the deep muscles, because as we relax them, we relax the nervous system. So that's where we're going to go to. Okay. So it's about really bringing our central nervous system back into real harmony. We're doing yoga anyway, so we're working on it all the time anyway. And so we're going to be moving in gentle movements and also probably staying in the movements quite a long time. So I said to have a couple of extra cushions ready. So I've got one that's a little bit thicker and one that's a little bit thinner. Maybe you've got a combination of those, and block. And maybe you've got a tie to use, or a scarf, something that you've been using. So with that in mind, let's start by laying on our back with our knees bent. And I was working with a lady called Liz Koch, who's very renowned for working with the psoas muscle and the connection of the psoas muscle to our actual soul, the energetic aspects of deep into our body. So this posture she calls the constructive rest posture. And so we just lay on our back, knees are bent, and all we do is feel the qualities. So underneath your feet, qualities of the mat, warm or cold, rough or smooth. Perhaps there's a feeling of pleasant or unpleasant, rather not use the words good or bad, no value judgment really, but it might be a slightly uncomfortable, slightly rough. And then noticing the other points of contact. So roughly the same probably for everybody. The back of the sacrum. And how does that feel? Sometimes that really feels like it just needs an extra wriggle. And the shoulders. How much of the shoulder blades is in contact with the ground. How much of the upper back. Maybe the back of the shoulders is just off the floor. And then we've got our arms. So somewhere along the arms is resting. Hopefully palms open towards the sky to receive. So the back of our hand is on the floor. And notice how that feels. And maybe there's some wriggles that come just to find your comfortable sweet spot. And the back of your head. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out, and as you exhale, opening your mouth with a sigh, just allowing the whole body to let go. And that might be easier said than done. There might be parts of your body that you start to feel that are objecting to that. It could be the centre of your back, like your lumbar area, that arch that's away from the floor. And as we stay with this for a moment or two, see if you can stay with those areas that maybe are starting to feel that like they want to let go, but they're a bit fixed. So they're finding it hard to let go. A bit of a metaphor for life, really. We get stuck and fixed. And then notice your breath. So for, let's say, 3 or 4 breaths, see if you can expand your breath down towards the belly. And exhale and release. As you expand, how much more of your back can you feel into the floor? There may become a slight rock of the pelvis as your back just wants to press against the floor. Just allow that to happen. We're really connecting with very subtle movements here. And notice where your mind is. Is your mind curious or is it wandering? All okay, just bringing it back. If it's wandering, just bringing it back into sensation. And there's the yoga, there's the connection between mind and body. Maybe it's curious about the exploration of what's happening with our physical. And then from here, we're going to stretch the right leg and we bring it just slightly across the center line of the left foot and stretch it out. And as you do this, place your hands onto your lower belly, just under your, just north of your hips, if you like, because underneath there, deep underneath there, is the psoas muscle, which is, this particular stretch is for the psoas muscle. So it's a very big muscle. It's like the filet mignon, if you're in an animal, that thick muscle, and it can get very stuck from life, from stress, from exercise. And so what we're asking it to do is to let go with every piece of its fibre. And actually it usually takes, a session of maybe 3 hours to really calm down to that place where it's starting to let go. So this is almost a taster. And just with your hands there, gives a little bit of extra warmth, a bit of your own energy, and just a signal to let go. Let your foot relax, and then take your upper body and just shift it slightly to the left side. And you might feel that all along the front and right side of your body now there's a kind of a stretch there. And then when you're there, continue to breathe, continue to feel. Notice any areas that have got tension. I just noticed it in my foot, it was flexed. let that foot go, let the tension go. Sometimes it's just a bit of a balancing act as you maybe try to almost roll off the back of your hips. Let your eyes close. You turn your head to look to the right side, so you're looking to the same side as the stretch. And then turn your head to the opposite side, to the left. Bring your left arm, and if you want to, if you've got a cushion handy there, if you want to just put a cushion under your left shoulder there, or left arm, just so it's not hanging in the air, and looking towards the left elbow. See if that enhances the stretch down the right side. And then take your breath to this area in your lower belly, and imagine that each exhale is allowing that area to sink just a little bit more. And perhaps it's not so big, the feeling, the sensation. Perhaps it's really subtle, really deep. Maybe there's not necessarily anything that you're feeling in this moment. And that's very much a nervous system thing. It might be later where you feel, oh, I feel kind of relaxed and open today. Okay, so slide your left arm back down to your side. Let your arms come back down next to your hips. And bring your upper body back into the middle. And bring both feet together. And as you're there, any small adjustments, just notice if there's parts of one side that feel different to parts of the other side. Just maybe imagine a word that comes up to describe that feeling. It could be lighter or stretched or longer or something like that. Stretch out your left leg just slightly across the center line. And then shift your upper body to the right slightly. And then let go. So relax the foot. And really let go with your hips. So the front of your hip and it's a matter of kind of getting comfortable. So a wriggle here and there. And then take your right arm up, prop it with the cushion if that feels good. And then look towards the right side, towards the center of the elbow. So you've just increased the arch, if you like, increased the crescent shape. And when you come to your body, you may still feel an area that's just holding away and it doesn't want to quite let go into the floor. Take a breath there. See if it feels safe enough to let go. Bring your hand onto your lower belly and encourage that letting go from the inside. Don't let go, just a little bit more. Taking 3 more full deep breaths in and out. And then beginning to unwind, bringing your head back into center. Upper body back into center. Let your arms relax down. Bend both of your knees. And just feel into the left side. Notice if that's feeling a little energized, and then if there's balance between both sides. Lovely. And then roll onto your side. Come onto your hands and knees. And very slowly, let's come up to standing. So curl your toes under. And roll up as though you're a bud just unfurling. So it's taking the movement really slowly. Because we're in this state of quite deep relaxation. Okay, so we're going to continue with working with our spine. By rolling. So your feet are slightly wider than your hips, knees are bent. We're going to just drop our chin onto our chest. And then simply, very slowly, let the shoulders roll forward. And bend your knees. Back starts to curl. And again, we're working with our central nervous system here. The vagus nerve that goes down the center of the body. And as you come to a spot that might just start to feel the movement of letting go, just pause there, take a breath, and see if that wants to release. And then continue and actually have your cushion or your block handy. And then maybe just bring your hands onto the block and just continue rolling forwards until the weight tips forward into the ball of your foot. And there's a real stretch from the sacrum to the back of the neck. If you can get that feeling that you're tipping yourself so far forward that the head is allowing the stretch through the neck, and the upper body is allowing the stretch through the lower back. And it might be that your hands are comfortable on the ground, but just don't put too much effort into it. So if it's easier to just take the block and then feel into that. And then notice where else you can feel the stretch. It might be happening in the back of your legs. And make some gentle movements just to accentuate that. Might be a slight rock in your hips. It might be just a tipping forward onto your hands so that your heels come up slightly to stretch the back of your legs. Almost like you're just tipping the weight forward, like into a bag of grain. It's just a bit mobile and it's heavy. And you're exploring what happens as you rock forward. And then if it feels good to take the block away, because now we're a little more open, a little more stretched. Perhaps we want to come onto the back of our hands and stretch out the wrists. So that means fingers will be pointing in the direction of your heels. And stretching the front of the wrist there. And then turn your hands over. And again, take the block if that helps. Put your hands flat so then your wrists are flexed and your hands are flat. Still, and feet on the ground. Head still rolling towards the ground so your neck's relaxed. Maybe nodding a yes and a no. So that you know that your neck is relaxed. And then bend your elbows, see if you can let go any more. Almost scoop your belly up so you're extending through the front as well as the back. And if you've got any dizzy feeling, then be sure to roll up and come out of this or just take a seat for a moment. And then we're going to take hold of the elbows and just rock, but like pendulum, backwards and forwards. And notice what that does. Even that helps to stretch the back of the legs. And notice if you're applying the deepest yogic breath that you can. Okay, then let your arms rest again and let your hands come down to the floor. Walk your heels and toes away from each other, just to as far as feels comfortable. And it can be quite far, so you might be feeling quite a stretch in between your thighs. Toes still pointing forward. And then begin to walk your hands around to the right side. Take hold of your ankle with one hand. Look over the right leg, shoulder to the right. Supporting yourself with your left hand. It might be on the block. And just see if you can stay in that stretch. Feeling into it. Which other parts do you need to move to support that? Perhaps your left knee needs to bend a little bit. Perhaps your right hip needs to go back towards the back of the room. And letting your head drop down. And then we're going to walk slowly back through the middle. And just pause in the middle. And then we'll follow your walk around to the left side, taking hold of your left ankle, making yourself comfortable. So the right hand supporting somewhere, just near the foot, and looking over the left shoulder. And again, which parts are protesting, which parts are feeling really stretched. Welcome them in, breathe towards them. Small micro movements just to bring in any extra stretch that you want, and then walking back with hands in the center, so feet are still facing forward, and then with the block or without the block or with the cushions underneath, and look down towards the floor. Inhale. As you exhale, looking forward with your eyes, so almost like you're just lifting your eyes forward, and that's lifting your whole head and the back of your neck, so your back is roughly straight. And then we're going to exhale and round again. Inhale and then exhale and lift. So face is looking straight forward, and just notice what that simple position of the head does to your upper back. And relax. So when you do this, you notice how, if you're working on the computer or something, or gardening, just one slight change in your posture, lifting your head up like this, maybe what might feel like a bit of a crick in our neck, resonates all the way down our back and shoulders. And just continue to move in and out of that. So it's an exhale as you look up. Maybe you want to stay there and just really feel into those shoulder blades. It's a very sensitive area of the back where often we carry a lot of old emotional stuff there. Okay, and then folding your head forward and just pausing, and then heels and toes in towards the center. Move your block to the side. And in fact, from here, let's come down to the floor. So we're staying here, and come down, come lay on your belly, so on your front. You could take a thin cushion and just place that underneath your, just above your pubic bone and between your ribs. So actually your whole abdominal area. And again, so just a thin cushion. With our psoas muscle in mind, we're just giving a little bit of extra shape there for it to relax onto. Turn your head to the side, open your legs out, and notice how it is to lay in this position. So it's like a belly down Shavasana. It might be a position we lie in when we're in the sun. Maybe some people sleep like this. But if you could imagine lying in the sun, getting the warmth on your back, almost melting. And it could also be that you feel it in your lumbar area here. There's a little echo of something having been stretched. So anywhere that you're feeling, just breathe towards that area and see if you can let go. One thing about this posture is it's very grounding. It's contacting all of our channels of our earth elements. So if you've had a frazzled experience, this could be a recovery position. Now I'll just let you just experience this quietly for a minute or so. Okay, so turning your head into the center, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, and as you exhale, pressing up, coming back into the child pose, keeping hold of your cushion. In fact, take your cushion under a block or another cushion and just put the cushion under your belly here. And then just roll forward to give yourself plenty of padding, and just bring your head onto, so you're a little bit higher up than usual, onto a cushion or two cushions there, or folded cushions, and then just letting your arms go down by your side. And just making sure you can breathe. It might be that you need to turn your head to the side. And just notice what the bounciness of the cushions gives to you. Okay, and then hands under your shoulders, lifting up, noticing where you're at, perhaps coming into a very gentle, relaxed place. We're going to come onto our back and we're going to support our spine, and it could look something like this. So it could be a folded cushion because we want a bit of a tube shape. It could be a block with a cushion on top, also a bit of a tube shape like that, or you might have a perfectly tube shaped cushion. So I'll demonstrate with this one. I've got the block and cushion. I'm going to sit, bend my knees, bring it right close up to my hips. Take the other cushion, it's going to go behind my head. And with your knees bent, just lay back and have that tube shape all the way down your spine. So as you lay back, you'll feel how high your head needs to come. You don't want your neck to be straining. You don't want your really chin to be lifted up and your neck to be pouring back. You want to still be able to tuck your chin towards your chest and support the back of your neck. But there's a real, and it might feel slightly uncomfortable at first, that pressure in your back. It might feel slightly uncomfortable. And see if you can stay with it. We've done quite a lot to open up the back, especially all of the back. And as you stay with it, it could be that it becomes less uncomfortable as the muscles start to let go. If it's much too uncomfortable, take a layer away and just do that with a very a thin cushion, or maybe just a thin rolled cushion, just so you're creating a layer underneath your spine. And again, let's just let go here for a moment. So to come out of this, we want to be very, very mindful, very slow. We're going to roll over onto our side, prop our head with a cushion, and just stay there for a moment, like we're just on our side in bed, because our back's been in quite an unusual position, and we just need to let it find its space there, its place. Notice any sensations in your back, any qualities in your back. And then with your hands supporting, bring yourself back up to sitting. Sit on your block. And actually, let's come into Badakanasana. You could even sit against the wall, so you're lovely and supported. Effort. And get your cushions or your blocks. Make them nice and high, and just prop them underneath your thighs there. All right, and then let your thighs rest down onto the cushions, and you'll know where it's just right. Yeah. And feel that extra support. Just notice what it does. Again, it's a metaphor for life. When we've got support, we can be more in our center, more balanced. Some people find it really hard to reach out and ask for support. And I always say, well, what does it feel like to give support? Usually feels quite nice, and that's what each person gets from supporting each other. So in this position, let's do some breathing for the central nervous system. So we're going to do the breathe in for 4, retain the breath for 7, open the mouth, breathe out for 8. So let's just come to our breath. And after the next exhale, we're going to inhale for 4. Deep exhale, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 4, 2, 3, 4. Retain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continuing yourself, counting your own count. Making this the last round. And then just coming back to a regular breath. Feeling into the breath. Notice how it lends itself to this particular session of being very internal, very slow. Okay, then bring your hands onto your knees and bring your knees together. And let's do one more posture. So it's a forward bend, but it's a supported forward bend. So we stretch out the legs and then take as much as you've got. So cushions, block, put them right in front of your tummy there, and maybe the block on top. So we don't need the block. And then just lean forward into the forward bend. Maybe take hold of your ankles. So the higher your cushions, you might even have an extra one in there that's nice and soft. The higher your cushions, the more you've got to release into. Yeah, if you get it high enough, you could just let go with your hands instead of hands on your shins, just hands on arms on the cushion. And then just walking yourself back up. Just notice how you can lose yourself in something like that. Just letting go. The mind coming right down into the body. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is the legs at the wall pose. If it feels that you just want to lay down flat, then go ahead and do that. And if you don't usually do that, then put some cushions underneath your knees, because that really just helps your back to relax. In fact, let's all do that. The legs up the wall pose is really classic, restorative, total relaxation that drives energy. So just to know that, and then let's come instead onto our back. Support our knees, maybe support your head, maybe a cushion underneath your head, but definitely something higher underneath your knees. Maybe 2 cushions so that you've got enough space to open out your legs. And again, feel the points of contact. Do the points of contact feel different now than when we started? Something a bit more marshmallow about the quality, maybe. A bit more relaxed, a bit softer. There might be areas that are just tugging a little bit, like my lower back, my lumbars, just saying, yeah, I've just started to stretch and I need to stretch a lot more. That kind of feeling. And notice complete letting go. Bring your awareness to your belly, to your abdomen. Maybe your hands are on there. Just noticing if there's any softness around that area. Noticing the back of your head, especially on the cushion. Just today, feeling that gentleness of the cushion under your head. And noticing if there's anything that we particularly like to let go of or change in our life. What we call a samskara. So just making an intention to let go of anything in our relaxation. And let me guide you in a complete letting go, a yoga nidra. So making yourself nice and warm, keeping yourself nice and warm. So anytime I mention a body part, just bringing awareness and relaxation to that body part. And if you lose track, then just listen and you'll come back to where I am. So bringing your awareness to your big toe on your right foot, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, ball of the foot, hollow of the foot, heel, bones of the foot, the whole right foot, ankle, Achilles, the right calf, the right shin, back of the knee, front of the knee, back of the thigh, top of the thigh, the bones in between, the right hip, pelvis, the hip bones, the right side of the sacrum. Bringing your awareness to your left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. The ball of the foot, the bones of the foot, hollow underneath, the heel, the ankle bones, chin, calf muscles. Left knee, back of the left knee, front of the left. Left thigh, front side, back side. Left hip, the bowl of the hip joint, the left side of the sacrum, the space between the left side of the sacrum and the right side of the sacrum, and the top of the sacrum and the tailbone, the space between the tailbone and the back of the neck, each vertebra in between, from the tailbone up through the back. Bringing your awareness to your right hand. Right thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Palm of your hand, back of your hand. Right wrist, forearm, elbow, biceps, triceps, and right shoulder. Left arm, left hand, thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. The palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the left wrist, forearm, left elbow, biceps and triceps, and the left shoulder. Space in between the left shoulder and the right shoulder. And the space in between the left collarbone and the right collarbone. Left eye, right eye. Left cheekbone, right cheekbone. Left side of the mouth, right side of the mouth. The chin, the throat, the breastbone, the left ribs, the right ribs, left side of the belly, the right side of the belly, the lowest part of the belly, and the solar plexus. Landing in the softness of the belly. And taking the next few moments to enjoy complete letting go. Maybe imagining you're on that warm beach or laying on a warm lawn with lovely sunshine. Just allowing your body to drift into complete and deep relaxation. Noticing where you are. Taking it very slowly. Introducing some gentle movement. And introducing any movements that would feel good, individual to everybody. Stretching, yawning. Side, and then recovery position. And slowly coming up to sitting. So, feeling into your whole practice and knowing that we don't need to do hot and sweaty yoga to have massive effects. This can help us to stay healthy and breathe deeper and to find relaxation, and from that relaxation comes a vital energy. So we don't need to wear ourselves out with yoga. So, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. And bowing your head below your heart. Big sign of thank you for coming along today to join me. Maybe there's an intention from the class. Just noting that, and as you exhale, eyes and hands open, letting that intention go to the place it needs to go to. Namaste.